Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Sunday, the 29th of Rabi'ul Awwal 1445, corresponding with the English date 15th of October 2023. Hazrat Wala starts off this Majlis by quoting the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, ثلاث من كن فيه وجد بهن حلاوة الإيمان. Three things, if found in a person, then that person will then perceive, enjoy, and taste the sweetness of Iman. This hadith is found in Bukhari Sharif. Now here, Hazrat Wala is saying that this particular hadith, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab wrote in his Bayaz-e Khas. Now our Buzrugan-e-Din made so much of an effort in compiling and putting together the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imam Bukhari rahimahullah himself leave alone wudu for one hadith before noting it in his Sahih al-Bukhari. He would carry out ghusl. This is also one of those ahadith which he has compiled and put into his Sahih al-Bukhari. Now, no matter how beautiful and tasty an item is put in front of a person, however, if he cannot taste, then what will be his condition? It will be different on his tongue because he has lost his sense of taste. He will say this or that or the other. Similarly, when the Quran-e-Majid, so what will we tell that person? Will we tell him that that is not sweet? No. We will tell him that there is something wrong with your tongue or your taste buds. Similarly, when the Quran-e-Majid is recited and a person doesn't perceive joy and happiness, maza, then you need to understand that his heart has then become corrupted. It's not, the objective is not only to eat, but it is to enjoy. So when a person does something, it's not only that he is doing it, but rather he must gain enjoyment from it as well. Now Hazrat Wala is quoting, he says that there was some person quoting some ash'ar, but it did not have any effect on Hazrat Tanvi whatsoever. And what was it? That person did not have that type of spiritual kayfiyat and hal within him, due to which he could not affect the others. Another person was reading out the ash'ar and the poetry of Hazrat Haji Imdadullah. And what did Hazrat Tanvi say? He said that this is his hal. This is his hal, because he was reading it with that type of a spiritual state. You know, there was this Pandit, this priest or pope or leader in the temple, Pandit. He comes along and he says to the Aqtab-e-Thalatha, these three great saints who would reside there in Tanabawan. He said to them that you people say there are effects in the Quran-e-Majid, but I do not find that. Now from amongst them, Hazrat Maulana Sher Mohammad, what did he say? Yeah, not a problem. And then he said, come sit. And he started reciting to this Pandit Surah Qaf. He hardly recited 3 or 4 ayats when the Pandit himself said, okay, no, that's enough. That's enough. So from this year, we learn that that person, that Pandit, when he was reciting it, he had no type of pleasure that he was achieving. And then he made a statement, due to which that statement of his was then answered by the recitation of Hazrat Maulana Sher Mohammad. Now, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to go on reciting. So many occasions he would not even make the tarjuma. Hazrat Maulana Ali Mia Sahab has written about this here. So we learn from this also that leave alone even explaining or saying what's the subject matter by mere recitation, so much of joy and pleasure can be achieved. So you are not perceiving pleasure because you are reciting with the tongue and the heart of kufr. And the tongue and the heart of iman is totally different. Now, without understanding the Quran recitation also there are such great effects in it. So much so, Hazrat Wala is saying that I seen in the villages or in my own village that after the Taraweeh Salat, ordinary simple people would then comment and say that this person read tremendously, you could feel it. And the other one, there was nothing happening there other than Yalamuna Ta'lamuna. So these things are also things of Zawq and Wijdan, that a person needs to have certain type of a thirst, enthusiasm, etc., wajd, and that kayfiyat within him, and we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He blesses us with that. Now, for this very sweetness of Iman, this is the reason why we go to the Buzrugan-e-Deen. Now, halawat-e-batini, perception of the sweetness, this year of this, it is something spiritual. Now, if we cannot perceive it and we are not tasting it and enjoying it, it doesn't mean that it is absent or there is no such thing like that. Therefore, we should not reject it. So Allah Ta'ala also bless us with this sweetness and grant us an affinity for it. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala adorn us with the halawat-e-imani, the sweetness of Iman. You know, back in the day, in the time of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, Hazrat Wala is saying that people after the Majlis would go this way, that way, scatter into the courtyard there and start their own talks, etc. And Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab did not like that. That he says that I had given this Majlis so that they would not become conscious for a long while, meaning they would be completely intoxicated in the love of Allah and His Rasul and in the spiritual state. However, due to the laughing and joking, this type of kayfiyat and spirituality, which is supposed to be derived from the Majlis, was then short-lived. Looking at me, he addressed me and he said, I want you to go and give a khulasa of this bayan, which I used to do as a completion to the Majlis in very short 5 to 7 minutes, so that no type of unnecessary, useless and futile talk would be carried out then there. Even today, the kitabs are present, but who cares to purchase them or to buy them? Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say, purchase the kitab. And listen, if you don't read it, fine. Someday maybe your children would read it. On one occasion, myself and Maulana Ammar, Hazrat Wala is saying that we went to Maulana Ali Mia Sahab, and then with some type of remorse, that was the sentiments that, listen, the kitab that I had written or compiled, I had distributed it completely. I cannot hand over a copy to you people. In that there, I said to Hazrat that I had already purchased it. And Hazrat was so astonished and amazed about that. due to which I said that Hazrat, we can buy this, we can buy that, we can buy the other. Then why should we not buy something, a priceless commodity, something like that of a kitab? You know, Hazrat Wala is saying when he was in Makkah Mukarramah, and then somebody asked him that, tell me what are the kitabs that you need or you want, so that I may purchase all of that for you and give it to you. So now I said to myself, who will I say to, who will I ask, who will I write to? And then a very great Misri or Shami Alim, I got hold of his kitab, and then you would find the ma'akhid, that where did he actually gather his information from, and he derived it from which kitabs that is normally enlisted in the end of the kitab or maybe in the start of the kitab. I took that and then I started noting down all those kitabs where he gathered his information from, and I handed it over to this person. He arranged for those kitabs and I got those kitabs. If you ask me, at that time there, when I separated and I left, my biggest fikr and worry was that about kitabs, that where will I get kitabs from? Nevertheless, all the kitabs I had received, but one kitab I was worried about was the Tabaqat al-Kubra, which Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb was very fond and passionate of, but we just could not find it anywhere. And why would you find it when sometimes people are not even qa'il, or they don't even believe or want to read such type of kitabs, the Tabaqatul Kubra of Allama Sharani. Nevertheless, after much effort, some person found it hidden somewhere in certain person's shop, away under something, because themselves they were scared to put it in front. So they had to hide it. Why? Because others were the enemy of such kitabs. However, Joinda Binda, the person who searches, who seeks, he most definitely finds and achieves. Rather, he would even find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ab, kamjo, tishnagi, our badast. Don't really spend a lot of time looking for water. That look less for water. Look less for the water itself. Rather, create within yourself thirst. Water would come in front of you, in your hands. Rather, you would find wells coming in front of you. So, pani kam dhundo, pyas peda karo. Don't look too much for water. Rather, create thirst within yourselves. We say, people say, that there is no Buzrugan-e-Deen, or there are so few Buzrugs. But within ourselves, did we find, or do we know what is our condition? Do we have that thirst, or this, or that, or the other? Now what can I tell you? There is no person to help me in these mazameen, in these articles and these topics. But in the time of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, Hazrat Wala is saying, I used to sit right next to him, just a bit behind him. And in the Majlis, he would refer to something and he would say, Kya hai? What is it? Bring it. And then I would stand up immediately and get the kitab and open it up and present it to him, due to which some person even remarked, did you know from before? Was this orchestrated? Did you know Hazrat is going to ask you a certain question? And how did you know that you would find it in a certain kitab? But what to say? Itni munasabat thi, ya itni munasabat peda kar liya, that I had so much affinity with this type of articles, ulum, ma'arif of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, or rather I can say he created that within me. Allah Ta'ala हम सब लोगों को Allah give us all that, the tawfiq and the hidayat of having this connection with the malfuzat, the sayings, the ta'aleem of our mashayikh. Okay, now we continue. So Hazrat Wala started off on the topic of halawat iman, and then he goes over to that of the topic of love and muhabbat. The ayat of the Quran Majid, وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِم مِّنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ. So this love, in the commentary of this ayat here, this love is something which is absolutely amazing and miraculous. So much so, because of the barakat of this love, a person will be resurrected amongst those who he loved, and he would be their companions, just like how Allah Ta'ala has mentioned that whoever obeys Allah and His Rasul, then he would be together with those who Allah Ta'ala favored, meaning from amongst the Nabi, the Anbiya, the Siddiqeen, the Shuhada, and the Salihin. Now, under the tafsir of this particular ayat, Allama Alusi relates about a person who comes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and says that, O Rasul of Allah, you are more beloved to me than my own self, than my children, and than my own my life. However, when I go home and then I think about you, I become restless and impatient, so much so that I then present myself and come back into your gathering so I can lay my eyes on you and make didar and behold you. However, in the Akhirat, you will be with the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam in the highest of stages, and we would be in the lowest stages of Jannah. And then at that time, how will we find you? How will we see you? Due to which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam remained silent and quiet until this particular ayat of the Quran Majid was revealed. وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِم مِّنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ. Now in Tafsir Khazin, it is written that Anas radiyallahu ta'ala narrates that a person came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked him that when will Qiyamah occur? To which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then answered that, tell me, what preparations have you made for Qiyamah? He said, I did not make any preparations or hardly anything except that inni uhibbullaha wa rasula, that I love dearly Allah and His Rasul. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam then said that you would be together with those who you loved. Anas radiyallahu ta'ala says that we, the Muslimin, the Sahaba, did not experience after Islam such joy and such happiness, delight, as much as we enjoyed on the revelation and on receiving these type of glad tidings, the revelation of this particular verse of the Quran Majid. Now the Mufassirin and the Muhaddithin write on the tafsir and these ahadith that what is meant by ma'iyat, that you would be together with the Anbiya Siddiqeen, Shuhada and the Salihin. It does not mean that you would be on the same stage and level as them. However, the meaning of it is that every person will have that opportunity to meet those great personalities and behold them. Meaning, the people who are in the higher levels of Jannah will have the opportunity of coming downstairs, and those who are in the lower portions of Jannah will have the opportunity of going upstairs to meet them. Thereafter, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab says that मेरे बुजुर्गों की करामत और उनकी जूतिया का सदका है. I am passing over to you these things. But listen, this is all the barakat of my elders, and it is their miracle, rather it is the barakat of straightening their shoes and respecting them. Allah Ta'ala forgive me, maaf farma de, forgive us, and let it be such that we are made to enter into Jannah from amongst those first people who would enter Jannah. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of carrying out the amal, making amal and practicing it on it. And Allah Ta'ala Ramadanul Mubarak ke sadqa mein hum sabko waliullah bana de. And Allah Ta'ala, due to the greatness and sacredness of this holy month of Ramadan, of course, He must have given that majlis in that particular month, the holy month of Ramadan. Due to the barakat of Ramadan, Allah make us all His bosom friends, wali, awliya, and Allah Ta'ala bless us with the surat, the outward, the external portion of His friends, and the sirat, the akhlaq, the character, and the hearts, the internal of His friends. And Allah Ta'ala bless us with the akhlaq of the awliya. Allah Ta'ala make the islah of all of us. E Allah, ऐसा ईमान और यकीन अता फरमा कि ज़िंदगी के हर सांस आप पर फिदा हो, एक सांस भी हम आपको नाराज़ करके. Right, until the end. O Allah, bless us with such iman and yaqeen that at every breath let it be such that our lives are sacrificed for you and it is for you, and let it be such that not for a moment we ever displease you. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyil kareem. Wasallallahu ala nabiyil kareem. So Hazrat Wala is saying, Al-mar'u ma'a man ahabba. And as we quoted earlier, that was after Iman, the happiest day that came to the Sahaba when they were told about just on the basis of love. Just on the basis of love. You did not do anything, but you love those saintly people, due to which you will have the opportunity, rather the privilege of being with them in the akhirat. The dua as well, Allahumma inni as'aluka hubbaka wa hubba man yuhibbuka wa hubba amali yuqarribu ila hubbik. Oh Allah, I ask you for your love and the love of the one who loves you and the love of that amal which will grant me proximity to you. Allah Ta'ala bless us with His didar and this opportunity that we behold and we see Him. That didar-e ilahi naseeb ho jaye. You know, people asked, even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that how is it and how would we be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then said, tell me, do you people find it difficult, all of you together, when you are trying to look and see the moon? Now when Allah Ta'ala has created so much of vastness and has made this year for the moon, then are you telling me that we will not be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comfortably when He has afforded such a great privilege to some of His makhluk like that of the moon, then why will it be difficult, and how can it then be impossible for all of us from start to end to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at once? The ayat of the Quran Majid, وُجُوهُ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاظِرَةٍ, the faces on that day would be so fresh and happy, إِلَىٰ رَبِّهَا نَاظِرَةٍ, looking towards their Rabb. Rather, this is actually a dalil that there would be something like that we would be able to behold and see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the akhirat. My health is not too good. You people make dua for zahiri and batini sihat, health, external and internal, that our tazkiyah and our hearts also are rectified and corrected. Rather, the heart is of utmost importance. This heart of ours. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making amal on the ta'aleem, and together with the ta'aleem, the hal of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah Ta'ala bless us with maghfirat and high stages, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala adorn us with these great high spiritual states. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.